Story, which is based on Digley and what might lie beneath the waters. So it's based 100 years, well, 1870, I think. If you want to hear what happens and find out, you'll have to go to the library and borrow an MP3 player and get the whole story. So this is the taster. Eleanor stood high on the hill above the valley and looked down at the mills and houses beneath her. She hated it. The place, the smoke bridging the dale, the distant noise of the looms muffled and distorted by the pleated roofs of the weaving sheds. Hills, you'll love the hills, that was what her mother had said. You with your romantic nature, you'll be able to walk anywhere. No more hard streets, just the freedom of the hills. You won't want to come back, all that green space. Only it wasn't green, it was brown. She hadn't reckoned with brown hills. Southern hills were green, Yorkshire hills were brown. All shades of brown, beige to khaki, a bit of purple and a touch of grey, but nothing like the heavy summer greens of Surrey. The hills were unpredictable. Sometimes they seemed close and threatening, at others distant and vertical. She felt that they were moving towards the house in thick folds of brown grass, as scratchy as a doormat. They would engulf her one day, she felt sure, silently wrap her up one night and smother her in suffocating folds of peat, like some terrible punishment for daring to dream about Horace. Elbows of rock emerged halfway up towards the skyline, like a giant doing push-ups to lever his way out of the earth. She had been driven up here, high above the mill and the big house, by the itch of her aunt's disapproval. And in spite of the weight of air that pressed against her, she had walked on, her breath heaving against her ribs, until she was high above the trees and rhododendrons in the garden and could look down on the scene below. It felt like a brief escape. Then suddenly there came a sound, the most extraordinary sound. A strange, haunting, curdling cascade of sound that pierced her flesh and made her skin prickle. And then she saw it. The bird, if that was what it was. It seemed unlikely that such a noise could come from a humble creature. Swinging low over the ground, its wings outspread with a long curved beak, it came to rest on a tussock of scratchy grass and raised its head in majestic ownership of the moorland, near enough for Eleanor to see the richness of its mottled plumage. She found that she was holding her breath, a moment out of time which carried her to a place that she had never known existed, and did so without her moving an inch. And it gave her a freedom to see things in a way that she had never done before, to see the grass and the heather and the bilberry as something less than alien, less than hostile. And when the bird turned its head, extended its wings and neck and caught a current of air and flew away over the hill, it gave her the courage to turn back to the valley and pick her way back down to the house.